Hi, this is data aggregation using the group function lesson. This is the outline of this lesson. The group by clause is used in a select statement to group rows into a set of summary rows by values of columns or expressions. The group by clause returns one row per group. The group by clause is often used with aggregate functions such as average, count, max, min, and sum. The group function is placed after the select keyword. You may have multiple group functions separated by commas. Table in the slide is the types of group functions. Each of the function accepts an argument. You can use the syntax as shown in the table. You can use average, sum, min, and max functions against the columns that can store numeric data. The example in the slide displays the average, highest, lowest, and sum of monthly salaries for all IT personnel. You can use min and max for numeric, character and date data types. The example in the slide displays the most junior and the most senior employees. The count function has three formats. Count, asterisk. Count, with expression. Count, with distinct expression. The first example in the slide displays the number of employees in Department 50 using the count, asterisk, function. The second example in the slide displays the number of employees in Department 80 who can earn a commission using the count, with expression. Distinct clause is used in a select statement to filter duplicate rows, non-null value, in the result set. It ensures that rows returned are unique for the column or columns specified in the select clause. The example in the slide displays the number of distinct department valued that are in the employees table. All group functions ignore null values in the column. However, the NVL function forces group functions to include null values. The first example in the slide shows the average of total commission that is paid to all employees divided by the number of employees receiving a commission. The second example shows the example of query where the average is calculated based on all rows of table. Regardless of whether null values are stored in commission_PCT column, the average is calculated as the total commission that is paid to all employees divided by the total number of employees in the company. Until this point in our discussion, all group functions have treated the table as one large group of information. At times, however, you need to divide the table of information into smaller groups. This can be done using the group by clause. You can use the group by clause to divide the rows in a table into groups. You can then use the group functions to return summary information for each group. When using the group by clause, make sure that all columns in the select list that are not group functions are included in the group by clause. The example in the slide displays the department number and the average salary for each department. The group by column does not have to be in the select clause. For example, the select statement in the slide displays the average salaries for each department without displaying the respective department numbers. Sometimes, you need to see results for groups within groups. The slide shows a report that displays the total salary that is paid to each job title in each department. The employees table is grouped first by the department number, and then by the job title within that grouping. You can return summary results for groups and subgroups by listing multiple group by columns. The group by clause groups rows but does not guarantee the order of the result set. To order the groupings, use the order by clause. The sum function is applied to the salary column for all job IDs in the result set in each department ID group. Also, note that the SA_rep row is not returned. The department ID for this row is null, and therefore, does not meet the where condition. The where clause cannot be used to restrict groups. The select statement in the example in the slide results in an error because it uses the where clause to restrict the display of the average salaries of those departments that have an average salary greater than $8,000. However, you can correct the error in the example by using the having clause to restrict groups. You use the having clause to specify the groups that are to be displayed. Then further restricting the groups on the basis of aggregate information. In the syntax, group_condition restricts the groups of rows returned to those groups for which the specified condition is true. When you use the having clause, the Oracle server restricts groups as follows. 1. Rows are grouped. 2. The group function is applied. 3. Groups matching the having clause are displayed. The example in the slide displays the department numbers and maximum salaries for those departments with a maximum greater than $10,000. Group functions can be nested to a depth of 2 functions. The example in the slide calculates the average salary for each department _ID and then displays the maximum average salary. Note that group by clause is mandatory when nesting group functions. In this lesson, you should have learned how to use the group functions count, max, min, sum, and average. Write queries that use the group by clause. Write queries that use the having clause.